Okay, I checked it out and it does not need any volume adjustment, so I'm going to go ahead and render. If you've been paying attention to these videos, I hope by now I've got the render video up. Otherwise, this is going to be foreign to you, and I'm going to feel like an idiot. Save. Even though I didn't spell that right. Oh well. Alrighty, now we can get down to the heart of reverb. Okay, I'll start with this one over here. Here is your basic Acid Music Studio reverb tool. Even though I have downloaded other reverb, I've never had any problem with the Music Studio version. Here you got dry and wet, as I should have explained on a previous video, I hope by now. Dry is how little and wet is how much the audio piece is being affected by the effect in question, in this case, reverb. Reverb, what it does is that it is a specific effect of echoing. When you sing something, or even when you talk, the sound waves hit other things and bounce back. Okay, when an opera singer or anyone sings in a big hall, that's what helps carry the music, the singing, out to the audience. It's also what makes it so pleasant to listen to, because as those sound waves bounce around, they create a lot more depth and tonality. You know, it adds character, I guess is the best way to put it. And that's called reverberation. The effect is reverb, and what it does is it mimics the color, as some would put it, of the sound waves bouncing around a room. You'll find that in proper recording studios, they use soundproofed booths to do most of the vocal recordings, and even guitar everything. Old school, they would have actually had nice spaces that they did their recording in, and that's why if you listen to something older, some of the old classic rock stuff, you can actually hear the vibration, the reverberation within the room, and it adds a lot of color and depth to the recordings. With the modern electronic studio, it is easier to just rent smaller spaces and just use electronic versions. I actually try to record vocals to where I will pick up a little bit of reverberation naturally, but I'm using this small mic, so it doesn't work too well. So, basically, you don't need much. I would say the standard is probably 5 to 10%, and this is even something that vocalists, and I don't care who they are, they all use it when they're singing live, because especially in like big stadiums, or very especially to outdoor crowds, there's nothing or not enough for the sound waves to bounce off of, so they add this effect in it's a pre-mix. They add it in before, the vocals, it hits the microphone carries the information through the cable into a mixer, and one of the live things that they do is that most bands use earpieces so they can all hear what's being played, and that's part of what the mixer does, but also any effects that need to be used on instruments and that aren't being used through pedals. I've always thought it would be real cool to hook up a microphone to a bunch of guitar pedals and just see what kind of things you could have happen. But in this case, I usually go for about 8.8 wet, 91.2 dry. That gives enough reverb to color the recording and make it sound nice without having Grand Canyon effect going on with the echoing. So that's that for that. That sounds stupid. Sorry. There you go. So when I'm doing a vocal track on there, I do it for the two that are hard panned left and right, and then I leave the track that's dead center, the louder track, I leave it alone generally, unless I'm doing like a heavy metal type thing. I might throw some distortion on there, or sometimes I'll play around with EQ. I mean, I've done some really strange vocal effects by getting rid of all of the, all of one band of EQ, but that's for a different video. So that's reverb. So now I'm going to go ahead and render out and that takes just a few seconds on my machine. Might take longer on yours, just depends. There you go, and when I put this up, I will have both of these tracks up so you can hear the difference between the having reverb and not having reverb. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.